All the frustration, worry, and anxiety that had built up since she'd arrived at the airport swooshed out of her in a huge sigh. "He's here. Go get Mom and the others." Jennie crawled the rest of the way in. Nick's secret place angled from 4 feet in height to nothing where the roof met the siding. It was about 5 feet deep and cluttered with dozens of toys, books, and other treasures she and Mom thought he'd lost. Jennie may have forgotten about Nick's secret place, but Nick certainly hadn't. In the farthest corner, a familiar 5-year-old lump lay cuddled up in his favorite blanket. Beside him was a brown and white lump half Nick's size. As the light flickered over the dog, he raised one eyebrow and peered at her. Then he twitched a little, raised up on his front paws and barked. No, the sound was too deep and resonant for that. He woofed. "You must be Bernie." Jennie scrunched around into a sitting position. He got up on all fours and woofed again. "Take it easy, big guy," she crooned. "I'm Nick's sister." The dog moved between her and Nick. One thing for sure, he took his duties as guard dog seriously. If Nick had run away, Bernie would have done his best to keep him safe. "What's going on, Bernie?" Nick sat up and rubbed his eyes. "What are you barking at?" "Hey, Nick. Is this any way to greet your big sister? I thought you were going to meet me at the airport." "Jennie!" Nick scrambled out of his corner and torpedoed into her arms, nearly knocking her over. Bernie hung back for a moment, then greeted her with slobbery licks. Footsteps sounded on the stairs. Jennie drew him closer and planted a kiss on his forehead. "I hate to tell you this, little guy, but I think you're going to be in big trouble. How come you went into hiding?" "Mommy said Michael couldn't be my daddy, but he is. 'Member at my birthday party when God gived him to me?" Jennie sighed. "I remember. But things don't always turn out the way we'd like them to, Nick. God might still bring you a daddy, it just might not be Michael." "Are you sure?" Mom asked as she and the others descended on Nick's bedroom. "Where are they?" "Back here in the closet," Kurt and Lisa said together. Nick looked at Jennie accusingly. "You told him about my secret place." "Had to, Nick, sorry. Maybe we can find you another one." "Nicholas Jason McGrady," Mom said, poking her head through the opening. "What do you think you're doing, frightening us all like that? We've been worried sick about you." "You'd better hustle on out of here," Jennie whispered in Nick's ear. Nick disappeared through the hole and landed in his mother's arms. After Aunt Kate, Lisa, Kurt, Michael, Uncle Kevin, JB, and Graham took turns hugging Nick and telling him how thankful they were that he was okay, Mom asked everyone to go downstairs so she could put Nick to bed. Jennie gave him a final hug and goodnight kiss. By the time Jennie entered the kitchen, Kate had already poured coffee and set a tea kettle on to boil. Graham had called the police with the good news. A few minutes later, Officer Beck returned to the house. Mom apologized to Beck for taking up so much of his time. He didn't seem the least bit annoyed, saying he'd call it even for a cup of coffee. By midnight, everyone had gone home except Michael. Jennie waved goodbye to Graham and JB and headed toward the kitchen. "You don't have to help with these," Mom was saying to Michael. Jennie leaned against the door jamb, trying to decide whether to go or stay. "I know." Michael set the cups and glasses he'd cleared from the table next to the sink, then leaned against the counter. He folded his arms and crossed one leg over the other. Mom dropped the dishes into the sink and continued washing without looking at him. Jennie shifted her weight from one foot to the other. She should leave. "I appreciated your help today," Mom said. "You don't have to thank me. I love Nick." He loved Mom, too, Jennie thought. It seemed strange watching them now. Not long ago, she'd hated the idea of Mom marrying Michael and had been relieved when Mom had decided to cool things. Since talking with her father, Jennie's position had shifted. She found herself rooting for Michael. "Come on, Mom," she wanted to say. "Michael's one of the good guys. Nothing's changed between us."